What's going on, everybody? Not entirely sure how to react to the most recent Bills game, the victory over the Browns. All I'm going to say, I guess, I previewed it quickly last week, so I guess I'll sum it up quickly this week. It was supposed to look easy. It did look easy. The Browns are now 0-14. The Bills are 7-7. We're not the Browns, at least on the field currently. From an organizational standpoint, there could be a nice discussion there, I guess, but we beat the Browns. It's done. You did what was expected of you, whatever. Like I said, should have been easy, looked easy. Done. There's a whole separate discussion to be had. I've heard people talking about it all week last week, and now it's sort of after the win. Like, would you rather be the Browns? And I lean towards no on that. I get how sort of fun it was, at least at one point, like for the Sabres, when they were tanking, so to speak, for Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel. If you're familiar with that situation, some of you I'm sure are, some of you might not be. Sabres were rock bottom for a hockey team. We're rock bottom for 2 seasons, and watching them lose was honestly painful, but at the same time necessary. And now that you find the Browns are kind of in the same situation, a little bit easier because there's less games. They're not fighting for they might be fighting for the top pick, but there's not like the Connor McDavid or like the Andrew Luck, the clear-cut number 1 quarterback, most important type of player that they could be tanking for. But they do have Philadelphia's first-round pick as well. I mean, like I said, there's an argument to be made for wanting to be them because they seem like they have a direction. They're just at rock bottom right now. I like Hugh Jackson. I think he's a pretty good coach. I thought he got a raw deal in Oakland. They let him go, I believe, after 1 season of going 8-8. That didn't seem right. I think players responded well to him. Cleveland, I guess, like I said, they appear to have a direction. You're just so bare bones right now. They have 14 picks coming up in the draft, something like $100 million in cap space. That's fun. I get it. That's fun. To think that you might be on the come up, you just still got to see it happen, I guess, because you're probably going to get good players, but you could be getting they could take Jonathan Allen, right? You could be getting Courtney Brown again, or something like that, right? I mean, with the Sabres, just going back to that, or the Colts with Andrew Luck, everyone knew. It was pretty widely believed that Andrew Luck was going to be really good, and that Connor McDavid in the NHL was going to be super good, and Jack Eichel was going to be super good. You could see that. Those were the guys to have, and Austin Matthews for Toronto Maple Leafs, he was going to be super good. So I think it's a little bit different of a situation for the Browns this year. They might be set up to be bad again next year. So whatever. This isn't a Browns preview video. I just wanted to address the discussion that would you rather be the Browns? Me personally, no, but I do think it's fun for Browns fans. And conversely, Bills fans might be we're just stuck. Stuck in mediocrity has been kind of a phrase going around for years now. Just stuck in neutral. Here we are, now we're kind of get at 7-7, maybe a good look at 9-7, but we can't. 3% chance at the playoffs or something like that. Can't really get over the hump. What do we have to do? Just beat the Jets? Maybe we're in the driver's seat here. Jets and the Dolphins. 3 teams that they probably should have beat. Dolphins this week. Count me as one of the guys still not sold on Dolphins. Try to tell me they're good. I'm going to tell you they're not. And that's not a knock against like Adam Gase or anything. I think Adam Gase, it seems like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. I watched a couple of his interviews before I recorded this, and I'm like, well, this guy seems to have a pretty good grasp on his team, keep his team focused and whatnot. I don't buy into the team. They've spent years trying to build through free agency and just letting their guys walk. Olivier Vernon is killing it for the Giants. But no, we had to have Ndamukong Suh or whatever, and Mario Williams, and we traded for Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso, and and they let Rashard Matthews walk, who's having a decent season for Tennessee. It's just visible that they just don't really seem to treat their draft picks with the same value as their homegrown talent, with the same value as like building through free agency and stuff. And I just don't think they're that good of a team. Sorry, it sounds stupid. They seriously haven't. They've lost one game since they last played the Bills. They've only lost one time to Baltimore. They got killed by Baltimore. And there you go. There's your proof that they're not that good. They got killed by Baltimore. In Baltimore, no less, but like by 32 points. And then you look at the rest of their schedule, Miami's schedule. That's the only team they've played with a winning record since the Bills. Since the Steelers. Since they beat the Steelers the week before the Bills. The Bills are 7-7. Technically don't have a winning record. Everyone else that they beat since they played the Bills currently has at least 8 losses. They beat Arizona. It was probably the best team. They beat 5-8-1. They beat San Francisco 1-15. The Rams 4-10. The Jets twice 4-10. San Diego 5-9. These are bad teams that they're beating. It's not their fault. They don't have to apologize for that. Your schedule is what it is. You play who you play. But they're still 25th in total offense, 325 yards a game, 218 passing yards a game, 27th in the league. They had Jay Ajayi go for 200 yards twice. They're still just 16th in the league, 106 yards a game, 17th in the scoring, 22 points. And now Tannehill's hurt. Obviously, I didn't even address that yet. They're down to Matt Moore, who started his first game in 5 years last week against the Jets last Thursday, and he walloped them, obviously, because they're the Jets and they're not good. But they beat the Bills, whatever. But he only completed 12 passes for 4 touchdowns. That's like what Kyle Orton did to the Jets a couple years ago. And nobody's like, Kyle Orton's retired. Nobody was really, the Bills were tooting Kyle Orton's horn for a while because he gave them a semblance of a passing game. But it's just, this is Matt Moore we're talking about here. Like I said, he really hasn't played since 2011. And now he's forced into a situation where he's got to be the guy for this team because they're trying to make the playoffs. Currently have a 60% chance. If they lose to the Bills, it falls below 30, I believe. And they're at Buffalo. And I think, man, I wish I looked this up. I think Matt Moore beat the Bills in Buffalo, I think. Maybe in 2011. Is that the game Reggie Bush ran for 200 yards? Dolphins just run for 200 yards against the Bills left and right. Whatever. Sorry, I don't have that in front of me. Nevertheless, I think the Bills are, even at 7-7, are better than the 9-5 Dolphins. Sorry. I do. Sorry, not sorry. I think they have maybe not as strong of a passing game, but at least equally as good weapons in the passing game. A better threat at quarterback, running back, receiver. That's what I'll say. I'd rather have Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, Sammy Watkins than Matt Moore, Jay Ajayi, and Jarvis Landry. That's the point I'm trying to get across, I suppose. Just not sold. Bottom line, not sold on Dolphins. I think the Bills are not. I'm not sitting here the Bills are going to beat the Dolphins and they're going to pass the Dolphins and go to the playoffs and whatnot. I mean, well, let's run through the scenario real quick. You might have heard it a million times already, Twitter or whatnot. The Bills need to win out, obviously. The Dolphins need to lose out. They play the Bills this week, so they have to lose to the Bills and then to the Patriots next week at home. The Patriots can clinch home field if they win this week against the Jets and Oakland loses to Indy. And the Bills sort of need Oakland to beat Indy. So if Oakland loses to Indy, it's not looking good. They could still be alive, I guess, but it's not looking good because New England have nothing to play for in Week 17. And, yeah, there you go. It just wouldn't look good. Obviously, there is Baltimore. Baltimore has to lose 2 games. They play the Steelers and the Bengals. The Bengals are a big team for the Bills coming up in the next 2 weeks. If this 3% chance, 2 or 3% chance is going to come through for the Bills. Look, I get it. You might be like, Greg, you're wasting your time right now. Stop. Stop. I don't want to hear this right now. The Bills are talking about firing their coach and moving on from the quarterback, and Tom Coughlin stuff is coming up, and I'm going to tell you stop. I'm not there yet. In 2 weeks, I'll get there. We'll talk. If they fire Rex Ryan. Like right now, Tom Coughlin's not coming. The head coaching job isn't available. It might be. And when it is, we'll talk about it. Right now, we have a 2 to 3% chance of making the playoffs, and that's what we're talking about. Ravens need to lose 2. Either the Texans or the Titans need to lose 2. I think the Titans are pretty good. They play Jacksonville this week, Doug Marrone. And so they'll probably win. And then they play Houston next week. So you kind of need Houston to lose, Houston led by Tom Savage, to the Bengals. So A.J. Green's supposed to come back this week. There you go. Could Houston lose to the Bengals? Absolutely. I know Houston's 6-1 at home, but Tom Savage is there. Houston is the only team over 500 in the AFC whose point differential is negative. And it's negative 44. The only 2 teams with less points than Houston in the AFC are the Jets and the Browns. No. Houston, not good. They'll lose to the Bengals. And then they'll lose to the Titans. So, there's your... And then the Broncos. Doesn't matter what they do this week against Kansas City. They have to lose to the Raiders for tiebreaker purposes. Next week in Week 17 at home. Also a little... none of those things are, impossible. The collection of those things seems impossible. All of those things happening seems impossible. But, could the Bills beat the Dolphins and the Jets? Sure. Could the Dolphins lose to the Bills and the Patriots? Absolutely. Could the Ravens lose to the Steelers in Pittsburgh and then at Cincinnati? Sure, division games. Could Houston lose to Cincinnati and then Tennessee with Tom Savage as their quarterback? Sure. Could Oakland beat Indianapolis at home? Sure. Could Oakland win on the road in Denver? Sure, they beat them already this year in Oakland, but they could. I don't know if I just covered all the bases. I think I did. But all these things could happen, individually if you look at them. It's just, there's a lot. I get it. But Sunday, or not Sunday, Saturday, Christmas Eve, Bills, Dolphins, I'm there. Let's go. The Bills are guaranteed to be alive after the 1 o'clock game if they win. Because, the Tennessee-Jacksonville, hopefully Jacksonville somehow pulls it out, but let's be real. That game's at 1. But Indy and Oakland's at 4. The Steelers and Ravens are, that's on Sunday. So, if the Bills win at 1 o'clock, they're still alive. There's something more to watch on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. Let's go. Let's fire it up. Let's fire up the bandwagon one more time. I'm picking the Bills to beat the Dolphins on Saturday, on Christmas Eve. Then, let's see. The Bills average about 25 points a game. Miami averages about 22. Let's go. 26-20. 26-20 Bills over Dolphins. Guys, let me know what you're thinking. You can talk about the coach a little bit. I get it. I understand that's going to happen. And the quarterback. But, Haley, let's go. We still got a shot at this thing. It's so small, but it's there. Oh, man, I am delusional right now. Guys, I really hope you have a nice Christmas. Hope you enjoy the game. If you're going, enjoy it on TV. Hope it doesn't ruin your Christmas. Above all else, go Bills!